Oh, that cloud's up 20 feet now. Woo! Ah, 5 out of 6. Every day I get up, I have to build a puzzle, and live bait are the pieces of my puzzle to put a day together.
I made a living my whole life in the Keys, basically throwing the cast net, and we loaded the live wells with live bait. That's what started off for just an epic trip.
Whoa, see that one? You got 6 feet in the air. They are airing out on these pilchards, man.
Oh my goodness, that is ridiculous.
Simrad's Into the Blue, presented by Yellowfin, with Captain Scott Walker and Captain Steve Rodger.
Every type of fishing in the Florida Keys revolves around bait. And there are very, very few times that I go offshore without some type of live bait. I've done it before and I've regretted it because, you know, I've seen 50-pound mahi that would not eat anything except a live bait, and I did not have a live bait. It's very, very important to always have some type of live bait on board your boat.
Yeah, baby, oh!
On a cut piece.
I saw what you're doing there. Biding your time, maximizing our baits.
You're not gonna catch any type of sailfish without live bait. You know, you might get lucky and catch 1 or 2 trolling, but you're not gonna run the numbers up that these guys are capable of doing down here. These guys do a dozen sails in a day, no problem.
I know he's hooked.
Oh, look at him, there he goes, sick! So live bait is very, very important if you're gonna do any offshore fishing. I made a living my whole life in the Keys, basically throwing the cast net. There are times where we use sabikis and catch herring, but it was very important that every morning I threw the net and we loaded the live wells with live bait, and that's what started off for just an epic trip and an epic experience for people who've never been down, or even seasoned veterans who've been down here every year. You know, having that bait is so crucial to a successful day on the water.
Look at that one that's all by himself in the middle. Oh, he's beautiful. He is beautiful.
Got mutton snapper written all over it.
Luckily for our clients, they have no idea what goes into that live bait sitting on the boat when they step on board. We're gonna find the fish through VHF radio, texting, and phone calls. There's a great network of all the captains from Miami to Key West. One phone call, one text, boom. I got the current, and then the next question is it clear or is it cloudy? That's the easy part. It's just getting to the fish with the precious bait available to make a successful day.
At the beginning of this, taking this live bait out offshore in these big wells, I think a lot of it originated in Key West. And then from there, it's branched out all up and down the east coast of Florida. But what has changed is now with these boats is it's very crucial that they have live wells, and they got pumps that can really keep up with the demand of multiple live wells. This boat that we're fishing on right now has 2 live wells in it. Both of them extremely large, can hold a lot of bait. My personal boat has 3 live wells. I mean, that's how important it is to have these wells. You want to be able to hold a lot of bait. Some baits you don't want to mix with other baits. So having a good live well system is about as important as it gets. It's more important than anything else on the boat, in my opinion.
But when it comes to that tournament fishing, if I have the best goggle eye on the reef, but they're not eating goggle eyes that day, it doesn't matter how good the bait is. So we have to have a variety. So then we set up our boats with big live wells, lots of space, we can keep them all separated.
Nothing like a little fresh herring, is it, Scotty?
Nothing like it, especially when it's windy like this.
That's like strawberries in your cereal. And as important as it is to have all these live wells and be able to handle all this bait, it's also very important that you can get in shallow enough to catch the bait. You know, I always can tell how much the school of bait's been messed with by how shallow it is, right? When we first find these big schools of bait, they're out there in 4 or 5 feet of water. But as the season goes on, they get pushed shallower and shallower and shallower where you can't get to them. So, you know, it's very important to have a boat that's got a shallow draft where you can get up in there and catch those pelchers if that's the bait you're going after. When you're offshore and you're riding around trying to mark some tunas, if you got a bunch of bait on the boat, you know, you can start throwing them out and those fish will come to the top and show themselves and start busting and blowing up, and it makes for a very visual day on the water, very exciting. It allows you to throw artificial lures into them. It allows you to kind of see how far out you gotta let the line out because you can see them busting. It's just a really neat aspect of having a lot of bait where you can produce the feeding frenzies. A lot of times we don't have that. When we're sail fishing, you'll see us out kite fishing, we're just hanging 4 baits. That's all we're doing. We're not throwing bait over because we don't want to feed that sailfish down the line and have him go off somewhere else. We're expecting him to come by and eat what we're hanging and what we're providing. So there's all kinds of techniques and the way you approach them is different. And there's a lot to learn, you know, out there on that ocean. And just with the years that we've both put in this game, you know, we got it pretty figured out. Scotty, let's take a little move, slide up a little bit. Maybe we'll get a little more.
Okay.
We got plenty, but never hurts to have more. You know, you can't drive by that little action right there.
Now I'm gonna turn up the flow on this one a little bit so it overflows while we're running.
All right, let's do it.
Put me on him, Capt. Nice, Stevie. Good eyeball.
Oh, good job, man. That was a freebie. You go riding along, you see that?
Goggle eye in the face.
Simrad's Into the Blue, presented by Yellowfin, is brought to you by Simrad, go with confidence. Bubba, the ultimate lifestyle. Sea Deck, your boat deserves Sea Deck. Waypoint. By Yamaha, reliability starts here. And by Ameritrail. Hawks Cay Resort. Power Pro. And Costa.
Luckily for us, we have this beautiful canal system here at Duck Key and Hawks Cay. So our day always starts with either going fishing or feeding the bait. If it starts with going fishing, we feed the bait at the end of the day. But this morning it's blowing, it was time to feed the bait. This is the Purina grower, packed full of food. It's a beautiful thing. When it's blowing like this, can't catch bait. But when the sails are biting, come over here and scoop a few and go fishing, or pay $150 a dozen. We are so fortunate to have all species of bait fish right off of Duck Key that we can actually take our days off, sabiki a few, never touch them, bring them back home, and then individually place them in cages, pens, and then start to feed them and make them better baits than they are the day we actually catch them. Once that's done, you gotta maintain them. We maintain them by feeding them a high protein diet of Purina fish chow, and it comes in 2 formulas, starter and grower. And once they get full on that, we actually take all our bycatch, all our red meat from tunas, the leftover barracuda, leftover yellowtails, we grind it up and we actually feed them fresh filet meat once we've got them into total happy mood. And this is not just saying, hey, I take care of my bait. It is a full-time job taking care of the boat and taking care of the bait. But the reward is tenfold.
The Kobe up there, Scotty.
I'm throwing. He sees it.
Oh,
that was awesome. All right, baby, good eye. That was on my side. You stole someone.
Nothing like sight casting the fish, man.
Nice, Stevie. Good eyeball.
Oh, good job, man. That was a freebie. Go riding along, you see that?
Goggle eye in the face. We're in the dead of winter right now. It is tournament season. We're fishing for practice and we're fishing for big money. We have already started catching our bait in October. It is now late February, and we have baits that we've already started to maintain since October. They're hard, they're slimy, they're better than fresh.
Obviously, if you're going to pen up bait, and penning up bait, it consists of, spending days out on the water just specifically fishing for bait. You bring it home, you pen it up, you condition it, you feed it, you grow it, you make it healthier than it was when you caught it, right? Because when you caught it, you stressed it out, you put it in the pen, it's kind of got a down cycle, but then it comes back up and it gets a new coat on it, it's very strong. That's one way of catching bait, one at a time, very a technical situation where throwing the net is you're just doing massive amounts of numbers on the boat, and I'm gonna get rid of all that bait that day. I'm not bringing it home to take care of it. I'm actually gonna throw it out on the ocean and use that to really set the ocean on fire, chum up everything, whether it be tunas, sailfish, wahoos, kingfish, everything at the same time. You're just creating that biomass or that ecosystem of feeding frenzy, and that's what always got people super excited. Jumping fish!
Jumping fish, baby! Oh! I'm right in!
Oh, that was sick!
Yeah!
Look at that! Oh my goodness, that is ridiculous! Oh, that is so sick! Oh, that's ridiculous!
The herring.
Oh, the herring.
I'm walking in! All right, here we go. Look exactly what they do.
That's it. That's
Cut it in half, and then they swing around and eat what's left over. Bait is bait. We want it all. On any given day, the bite can change from goggle eye to threadfin to sardine to ballyhoo to pilchard. Who knows? You have to have it all. We have to have immense live wells on board, and we have to have variety. Just because our baits are the best, if they're not eating that bait that day, it doesn't matter how good it is. So you have to have variety. So you have to have room. We've got 5 cages, sometimes 7 or 8, with different varieties of bait, lightly packed in their pens so they're not overcrowded. Overcrowding is almost as bad as touching a bait. You want to give them the space they need to be happy and grow big and healthy. So we have all these containers filled with just the right amount of bait. We're feeding them every day. They're getting happy and healthy, and they are superior baits. Stringer coming up. 5 out of 6. Hey. Perfect day of bait fishing starts in the dark, sabiki the big ones, and then right before you leave, you always want to take that shot at the net. You just want to see how many are actually out there. And when you hit it and you hit 300, 350, and you fill your well with fresh caught net bait, it's time to think tuna. It's like, all right, now as soon as I get to the boat, we're gonna load these and we're gonna run straight to the tuna grounds and we're gonna load them and start our day with tunas, and then just take it easy the rest of the day trying to find the sails or maybe some dolphins. They're right behind us now.
Busting straight back like crazy.
Now we got them. Oh, that's a good one. You got them all? Got them all.
Fish on.
The beautiful thing is getting to our west hump is to throw a scoop of pilchards on the crown, the highest point, as you troll over it into the current, and watch them as they zip around trying to find each other. And before they all get back together, the school of blackfins explodes all over them. Oh, see that one? You got 6 feet in the air. They're jumping 10 feet out of the water. They're throwing pilchards. They're catching them in the air. And that's time to get your hooks in the water and start catching the tunas.
Good one, bro.
All right.
Those are full grown, bud.
Really cool thing to do with pilchards is to chum a wreck when the water's kind of green, especially in the cold winter here. The big kings roll up on us, and they cut a lot of our baits off while we're trying to drift for muttons. And when they start to become a nuisance, it's like, let's see how many are really here. And then having a big scoop of pilchards to throw out and get them airing out is just so visual. You like have to think about it. Oh, I should be fishing now.
Look at that!
They are airing out on these pilchards, man. It is glorious. Look at them go.
You gotta be careful sometimes with this guy. They'll jump right in the boat.
I know, I'm watching every pilchard that comes between these motors. I just slid a giant thread fin out there, trickled him back with a couple of heads. Oh, that's a real one. You gotta keep that one on, baby. Kingfishing in the Gulf. But that's the beauty of a big live well full of pilchards is wherever you go, you can see what's really there by throwing a scoop out and watching what happens. Oh, the black fins are up, Stevie.
And I want to see one eat that plug bad. There's plenty of tunas there, man. That's good. Look at all them tunas. That's great to see. Oh, did you see that? Came out of the water. Oh, there we go. Oh, another. When it comes to bait fish, you know, obviously you can buy bait. You know, there's frozen bait. You can buy frozen shrimp, frozen ballyhoo, and you can catch fish. You know, then you got obviously pinfish. They're very simple and easy to catch. You just take a block of chum, hang it over the side of any shallow water grass flat, and you'll catch all the pinfish you want. But when you're trying to get offshore and get those tunas going and sailfish and things of that, again, it's a white bait you're after, so we go after the pilchards, you know, ballyhoo, a little bit of effort involved there. You gotta throw the net. You know, some guys gotta have a bait boat because their boats can't get in that shallow water, so they'll have a bait boat. They'll catch it in a bait boat, transfer it to the big boat. Goggle eyes. Goggle eyes, you gotta go out at night. If you wanna buy them, they're $100 a dozen. So the weather's got to be perfect. There can't be any moon. If there's a moon, they don't bite. So it's got to be dark nights. There's a lot of factors involved in keeping goggle eyes and catching them. You know, all the baits are equally important, but it's good practice to start, you know, figuring out where those baits can be caught. And, you know, hey, pin up some bait and kind of feed them and see how it goes. It might make your next trip out a little easier on you.
We have this brand new 36 yellowfin with these incredible 425 XTO Yamahas. They are beasts. Just because they're bad, we still have to take really good care of them. So taking good care of them, what does that mean? You have to break them in. You don't just jump on a boat and rock it out of the slip. The first hour, take it nice and easy. 2,000 RPM, 2,500 RPM. Grab your wife, grab your girlfriend, grab a buddy. Just jump on the boat and take it for a ride, go sightseeing. Check out some sunsets, but give it a good hour, maybe and a little longer. So after the first hour, the 2,000 RPM sightseeing around the islands, the next hour you need to kick it up a little bit, 3,000 RPMs. And what are you gonna do then? Me and Steve actually took the boat and went sight fishing for cobias and sailfish. What a better way to break in our brand new motor and actually catch some fish doing it. So again, first hour 2,000, take it nice and easy. Second hour, 3,000, 4,000, still don't give her heck. And after those first two break-ins, it's pretty much time to see what she has. We want to know if she gets her max RPMs. Is she propped right? We started with 23s, 23-inch propellers, and we were fast as we wanted to be. We had our RPMs, but when we loaded the boat down with our guys, we just weren't getting where we wanted to be. So working with our Yamaha representative, we popped the 23s off and put on a set of 21s, and boom, she's perfectly tuned. Now we can take a full load of guys, tackle, ice, bait, live wells full. As much as you want to load this boat down, with the 21s, this boat is perfectly tuned.
Simrad's Into the Blue, presented by Yellowfin, is brought to you by Yellowfin, only in a Yellowfin. Scales, every degree of water. Yeti, built for the wild. West Marine, for your life on the water. And by Shimano. Big Pine Key. Nikon. Ocean's Edge Resort and Marina. And by Spear One Charters.
Can't get enough of Into the Blue? Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Hashtag us in some of your big fish photos, and we'll feature you as Fan of the Week. See you there.
So just take 10 minutes to prep, 10 minutes to cook. We're just getting started, but we're almost finished. I'm gonna switch my blade to this trim blade. I could use that one, but I've got this one. I'm gonna take advantage. Get rid of the rib bone. Good for the pelicans. Only thing left to do is just get this red line out. We're gonna cut the whole red line out, the whole length of the fish. I'll leave a little cavity in there where you can put whole garlic, herbs, whatever you want to do to spice up your fish while it's cooking on the green egg. All right, for the pelicans. So now we have whole fillet, but there's room for lemon wedges and garlic right there. Pretty marks right here, right under the boat. Oh, look at that stack. That machine's beautiful. Oh, that cloud's up 20 feet now. Woo! Still marking, straight down.
Being a good fisherman in the Keys is gonna consist of knowing about the bait. You know, it's knowing about where the bait is, it's knowing about how to keep the bait in a pen if that's the choice you're gonna take, or it's knowing how to get on it and get on it quick, because without that bait, you're gonna have a tough time, you know, catching a lot of species down here. Now, you can buy bait, which is great, and you can also take frozen bait, which is great as well. But at the level in which, you know, we try to spend our day offshore, we like to have a lot of fresh live bait. And the sooner you learn that, the more successful you're gonna be as a fisherman.
All right, we got what we needed. A couple more. That is a well full of pretty baits right there. I'm about ready to get up in the tower and go hunt for these suckers, but if you want to go bust them with the net one time, that'll be awesome.